How we doing, guys?
Good.
Good. Some of us better than others.
Where do you stand at the moment as far as the evaluation of your staff and that process? And can you say that Scott and Rod will both be back in the same capacity?
Yeah, everything, it's still pretty immediate right now. I mean, obviously we play the game on Saturday night, so the order of business over the last 2 days, I've been in player interviews. We've probably interviewed 65 or so of our players, and that's really been our focus. We're going to have our first real staff meeting here when I get done with the press conference, and we'll talk about all of that staff stuff. So we haven't had any substantive conversations in regards to our staff at all. There are some guys who are out of contract, so we'll have to address those situations. And one of the things that we always talk about is the makeup of the staff. A lot of the decisions impact the other decisions that you make. So we haven't had any conversations about any of that stuff up to this point. Feel really good about the job our staff did this year. And we had a young football team, and I thought they responded well to our guys coaching them, the individual position coaches, our coordinators, the environment that was created to help this team grow. And we'll go back and evaluate our whole team and every part of it. We obviously have to get better. We have to build on some of the good stuff we did. We have to address some of the issues that we have. That applies to players, that applies to coaches, that applies to everybody in the organization.
With all due respect, this is different than what you said this morning on the radio. Did something change in between? Because this morning you said that you anticipated everybody coming back, including Scott.
Yeah, again, we haven't had any substantive conversation. Scott did an excellent job for us this year. And again, I don't know how I answered that question this morning. Nothing has changed. Again, I was in and around player meetings. Feel very good about what Scott Linehan did for us. Very good about what Rod Marinelli and Chris Richard have done, and Keith O'Quinn and everybody on our staff. And we'll have conversations about everybody as we go here the next few days. And we'll make a lot of decisions to put the staffs together and put our team together as we go.
Jason, do you have final authority on who is and is not on your staff?
Like with everything, they're all collaborative decisions. I do not own the team. Jerry Jones owns the team, so ultimately he has final say over everything that we do here. But I do believe our relationship is very collaborative. I have a tremendous amount of faith and trust in him, and I think hopefully he has the same for me. And we talk about all the decisions we make, any player, any coach, and we come to conclusions that we both feel good about. And we'll certainly do that with every decision we make this offseason like we've done over the last number of years.
You think your representative had any in that regard, Jason? You think your voice has gotten louder in that regard the longer you've been head coach?
Again, right from the outset, I feel like we've had a really good relationship. And there are a lot of decisions that you make in an organization, a lot of decisions. There are a lot of personnel decisions you make, players, coaches, staff members. And it's really important that everyone's voice is heard in that, and then you come to a conclusion that everybody feels good about. And I feel like I've had a strong voice from the outset. Certainly Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, the entire Jones family, they have a voice in this, our coaches, our personnel people, and that's really the way we operate. And we'll continue to operate that way. I think when you draw a consensus, that's when the best decisions are made.
Have you or your representative had any discussions with the Jones family about an extension at this point?
No.
You said you liked what Linehan did for you this year, as you mentioned Rod Marinelli and a couple of other coaches. What specifically did you like that Linehan did for this offense this year?
I thought we got better as the year went on offensively. I thought we were an inconsistent football team at the outset of the year. Again, we had a lot of young players playing for the first time, playing together for the first time. And that's really the way we created it. We wanted it to be that way. We made those decisions in regards to that. But we knew there were going to be some growing pains in all areas of our team, and we didn't play consistently well enough at the outset of the season. But I do think we grew. I think we learned from those experiences. We built on some of the good things. We identified some of the issues that we had, and we tried to make the necessary changes. And I thought we got better, and I thought our team got better in terms of understanding what it takes to win a ball game, beyond just the preparation, each and every day and how important that is, but dealing with the ups and downs that you have over the course of 3 hours on a Sunday afternoon and being able to play well for 60 minutes. And I thought Scott and Rod and Chris and Keith and those guys did an excellent job teaching our team those things. We learned from some real experiences, some good, some not so good. But I thought we grew in those areas, and Scott was a big part of that.
Well, specifically, was there anything that stood out? I'm sorry, I just wanted to to drill in on Scott, was there anything specifically that stood out about what he was able to bring to the offense this year?
Well, obviously he's the offensive coordinator, and he puts the plan together, and he calls the plays on Sundays. And again, we weren't perfect on offense, but we weren't perfect in any aspect of our team. And I thought we grew over the course of the season. I thought when the lineups got a little bit more solidified as the year went on, meaning Amari Cooper's a receiver, Michael Gallup's a receiver, Cole Beasley's a receiver. The other guys are fitting themselves in. I thought when we started playing together on a consistent basis, I thought we grew. And, Scott created a good environment for those guys. We ran the ball well. I thought we were efficient throwing the ball for the most part. We certainly can get better in both of those areas. We can get better in situational football. We can get better in the red zone, scoring more points. Those are all areas that we have to improve on. But I do think we got better in those areas over the course of the season.
How would you evaluate Dak this season?
Well, I thought Dak did some great things for our team. He's an outstanding leader, and I thought he grew very much as a player in so many different ways. And what was so significant to the run we went on towards the end of the year. We won a lot of games in the second half of the season, and if you look at those games, the impact that he had really was significant, whether it was making plays in the passing game, whether it was making plays with his feet, maybe most importantly, we played a lot of close games. Just the poise and composure he played with at the critical moments to week in and week out come up with the plays necessary to help us win. Look at those scores. Look at how those games went, and to have the toughness that he has, the mental toughness, the physical toughness, to make those plays at the critical moments time and time again. That was big for him. And again, I thought he did an outstanding job. Does he have room to grow? Absolutely. He'd be the first to tell you that, and we'll work very hard with him on that.
Where are the biggest rooms for him to grow?
I think every aspect of his game. I think if you look at quarterbacks who were young, just finishing their third year in this league, I think the level of understanding of what we're doing, what defenses are trying to do, how you can constantly pounce on and attack situations like some of the veteran quarterbacks in this league do, I think that's an area, and that comes from just playing. It comes from playing and learning from your experiences. When you get in that situation again, you attack it. You look at the two of the guys who are playing this weekend, Tom Brady and Drew Brees. That's what they do. Now they've been doing it for a long, long time, and over the course of their career, I think they develop that. They're both smart guys, and they both love football, and they grew with the experience that they had. And we feel like Dak has some of the same qualities of those guys in terms of how much he loves it, how smart he is, and he'll learn and benefit from his experience as well.
Did you see him attack some of those situations toward the end of the season more frequently than what he did earlier?
Again, I thought the environment was better as we went on. Adding Amari Cooper was a big thing for our team. Solidifying that receiver core was big. The growth and development of some of our younger players was big, and I think that created a better environment for him. Dak has attacked situations right from the start. He was a 13-game winner at quarterback his rookie year in the NFL. Not many guys have done that. So he's had success for us. He's led us a lot over the course of his first 3 years here. But I do think he's growing and getting better week in and week out. And again, he's such a driven guy. He's as hard a working guys we have in our building. So he'll continue to grow in all aspects of his game.
You think Dak's in good hands with Scott and Kellen, and if so, why?
I think it's a really good environment for him. If you look at how much he has grown over the course of his 3 years, I think that says a lot about the environment that he's been in. If you look at the success he's had, the number of games he's won as a starting quarterback in the NFL over the course of his first 3 years, it's a good environment. And I think Scott and Kellen, those guys have a good understanding of what his strengths are. And again, some of the things he needs to work on, and we work on those things really on a daily basis.
How much is to be said for continuity between an offensive coordinator and a quarterback over an extended period of time?
Oh, I think it's big. I don't think there's any question about that. Those guys getting to know each other, a comfort level that they have, the coach understanding, the player, the strengths, the areas to improve upon, the environment to put him in on a daily basis, on a weekly basis. I think those things are all really important. The confidence that the quarterback has in the play caller and understanding, what he wants to do and how he wants to do it. I think those are all big things.
Are you tied to this offense and style as a way to win in this league?
Describe. If you could describe the offensive style for me.
Well, your offense, well, whatever you describe it as, but your offense, your scheme, is that the right way to win in this league?
What we're going to do offensively, defensively in the kicking game has a lot to do with the people we have on our team. We believe we have flexible enough systems to be able to attack a lot of different ways. There have been a time around here with the same offensive system where we threw the ball a lot. The passing numbers were pretty high week in and week out. And we made a very concerted effort to get stronger on the offensive line, bring in big-time runners so we could be a more balanced attack. And, we believe in that. We believe we play our best offensive football when we attack defenses different ways. It starts with run and pass. And again, if you look at the teams that are playing this weekend, there's a little bit of a misperception about the Rams, that the Rams are some kind of a passing team. The Rams are a running team. They're a really good running team. We saw that the other night. And they get so much of what they do in the passing game off of what they do in the running game. And you can make a similar argument for the New Orleans Saints. And if you look at how New England played the other day, so we believe in running the football. I think the best teams are able to do that, but we also believe in throwing it. We want to be able to attack different ways, and we believe our system allows us to do that. And again, we'll always try to feature our players and put them in the best situation so we can be as successful as we can be offensively.
How impactful was Nesmeyer for you this year, given that we saw the development of some of these young tight ends, but also his familiarity with Amari Cooper going back to Alabama? How did that help in the offensive system?
Yeah, Nuss did a great job. He really did. He's got a lot of different coaching experience, coached at different levels, coached different positions. He's just a really good football guy. He played in the NFL, so he has a good understanding. He connects well with the players. And I just thought he brought a lot to that room. Jason Witten, a really, really significant player in this organization for a long time, as good as they get. And, in so many ways, he was such a great example for the other guys that played his position through the years. But you take him out of it, now you have a really young room. And I thought Nuss did a great job growing and developing those guys over the course of the year, guys who had really not really played very much football for us up to this year. And you saw them get better and better week by week. So he did an outstanding job. In regards to the Amari Cooper thing, we did talk to Nuss about that, but we talked to a lot of people about that who are around him, both in college and during his time in Oakland. And so we had a pretty good feel for what he was going to be all about when we got him.
I consider it impressive that the significant changes this team made at the bye with Cooper in making a position change in the offensive line. Is it impressive with how the players and coaching staff responded so quickly and made that a positive?
Well, again, you're always evaluating your team, and you're trying to determine what's best for your team, really on a daily basis. And, we're not interested in making coaching changes during the year. That's not something we've done before, but we just felt like that was an important thing for us to do, for what this team needed at the time. And similarly, that's a big trade that we made to get a guy like Amari Cooper. But, we're having some issues, in the passing game, getting away from people, having the success and productivity that we needed. We had an opportunity to bring in a player that we felt really good about. Felt really good about him as a person, felt really good about his production at this level. Loved our evaluation of him coming out of school, our evaluation as pro personnel guys, thought the world of him. He's a young player. It's a high price to pay, but we felt like he was worth it. And he came in and acclimated quickly. Again, I thought our coaches did a good job getting him up to speed, as quickly as we could. And he made an instant impact. It made a big difference on our team. So those are important changes for us. You trust your instincts. You trust what you believe, the convictions that you have, and you pull the trigger. And they worked out well for us.
How would you evaluate the play you got from the center position, abruptly going from an all-pro to what Joe did filling in?
Yeah, I thought Joe did an excellent job for us. Travis is a great football player. He really is and has been, and you said it, he's a Pro Bowl player. It's hard to replace a Pro Bowl guy. You typically don't have another Pro Bowler right behind him, so you anticipate a drop-off. But I'll tell you what, in whatever role we gave Joe since he's been here, he's handled it so well. And this was the biggest responsibility he had. That's a big position. And it's a big void that's left by a guy like Travis Frederick, because not only does he play well, but he helps other people play well. His communication, his command is outstanding. And Joe really grew into the role. I visited with him this morning, and I told him, I said, you've been at this for a little while now, but you improved dramatically, with the opportunity to play. He handled it the right way, and I thought he grew with the experience that he got. Snap after snap after snap, week after week after week, he got better. And I thought he finished the year really strongly for us and had a real positive impact on our team.
people saying about.
I don't mean to interrupt, and you might be asking about him. I do need to say something about Travis, though. Travis was off the charts this year. And you think about what he went through and how challenging a situation that was. It wasn't a typical football injury, so that can take you back a little bit. But he handled that really well. And for him to immerse himself into our football team the way that he did had such a positive impact on us. He was at every meeting, every walkthrough, every practice, every single day. And he got his rehab and he got all of the other stuff that he needed to do done really on his own time. And had such a positive impact on those guys, the new guys that were playing, Connor Williams, Joe Looney, some of the other guys who had to play for us. He was such a stabilizing factor. And then when we made that coaching change, I think he helped Mark immensely. So his leadership and his dedication and his selflessness to our football team, I can't overstate it.
What are the medical people saying about Travis's future?
I think it's very positive. He's gotten stronger and stronger. Again, worked very hard in the weight room to get himself back, and we do anticipate him, if things continue the way they do, to be involved in our off-season program right from the get-go. So, some of the things that were concerning to him have kind of gone away. I think he's regaining his strength. I think he's getting his conditioning back. He's worked very hard at it, and all the reports are very, very positive.
Jason, you don't necessarily feel like any big schematic change needs to be made as much as just doing what you do better?
Oh, I think you always have to look at what you're doing, and we do that every year. And you have to, look at the trends in the league. You have to look at what you do well with the people you have, and you have to evaluate that stuff and be honest in your evaluation of everything you do and every part of your team. And we do that. We go through that process, and there's an evolution that we have on a yearly basis, regardless of how we've done. Even if you win every game, you're not going to look at everything you do and say, boy, that was perfect. So it starts with us. So we'll evaluate ourselves, our scheme, not only what we're doing, how we're doing it, how we're implementing it, and hopefully we can instill that in our players and play at a very high level.
Coach Marinelli denied any reports out there that he was going to retire. How does that make you feel to know that this is a guy that still wants to coach, and what does he bring to your football team?
Oh, he's off the charts. He's off the charts as a person. He's off the charts as a football coach, and the impact that he's made on everybody in the organization has been significant. The growth and development of our defensive line has been significant over the course of his time here, of our defense, how he impacts other coaches and helps them grow. His positive impact on me, I can't even begin to tell you, the influence he's had on me, on the field, off the field, in every way, and in so many other parts of our organization that he touches. So he is a tremendous man. He's a tremendous football coach. It's had a huge impact on us.
How's he influenced you?
Oh, he's so strong in his convictions about how you win, and it's such a great example to us, to everybody. He's so thorough in how he teaches players. He's very hard on players, but he has great relationships with players, and he maintains those relationships, and he instills belief in those guys, and he challenges them to play at their highest levels. And that example that he sets, but he's also very interested in helping develop coaches. If you think about the growth and development of some of the guys that have been around him, it's been outstanding. And I sit in on his Saturday morning meeting every week, and it's just coaching at the highest level. And it's not always football; it's other stuff too. But teaching the man, helping the man grow, and the player grow at the same time. That's a big part of his philosophy. It's something we all believe in. He does a fantastic job at that.
In a league where so many players seem to take the franchise tag as an insult, and it impacts their approach or their performance, how do you feel DeMarcus Lawrence about his approach this season and also his performance?
Yeah, just fantastic. And talk about a guy who takes the right approach to the game and wants to be a great player and wants his unit and our team to be great. He had a fantastic year last year. Again, he put in that situation with the franchise tag, but he embraced every moment of it. He was involved in everything we did. He's really embraced the role of being a leader on this football team beyond just his production. The example he sets to everybody, how you meet, how you walk through, how you practice, and ultimately how you play. He just does it the right way. And the spirit that he plays with is contagious. And he loves the game. He cares about the guys he plays with. and has had a really big impact on our team.
Is he the top priority for you guys to keep as a free agent?
Again, we haven't had any discussions about our roster, but he's certainly as big a priority as there is. He's been such a great player for us and continues to get better and better.
You mentioned your meeting with Joe Looney. How would you characterize your meeting with Sean Lee? Obviously, you didn't have the impact this year because of injury to previous seasons, but you anticipate him having a role next year, even though he became part of a rotation.
Yeah, I don't want to get too deep in any of the meetings I have with the guys, but suffice it to say, Sean Lee has been such a big figure on our football team in so many ways for a lot of years, and he is a great football player. And, I mentioned Travis Frederick, the impact that he had when he was out. When Sean Lee was out, he was the same guy. I mean, he was every meeting, every walkthrough, every practice, just completely engaged in our football team, helping in any way that he can. And, Ben Bloom has done a fantastic job with our linebackers. But, to think about those two young linebackers playing, the example Sean has set and the investment he made in those guys to help them become better players was significant. So, the biggest thing with Sean is just simply his health. And hopefully he can get himself to a point where he's healthy and ready to go. But we absolutely want him back, and we want him to have a role in this football team. And he'll embrace whatever role that he has. He did that this year, and again, a great example to everybody.
Could you expand more on Ben Bloom and what you saw his growth this year, the first year that he had his own room?
Yeah, Ben did a fantastic job for us, and all you have to do is look at how our linebackers played. Young guys playing, a rookie transitioning into the NFL. In Leighton Vander Esch and how he played, and then Jalen Smith, the growth and development that he had this year, played certainly at the highest level of his career. So, Ben has been someone who's been in our organization in a lot of different roles over the last few years, always contributing. And we just felt like he was worthy of the opportunity that he got, and he certainly embraced it, and had a really positive impact on all those guys.
Some of the Rams offensive linemen said they could tell what stunts were coming by the way the defensive line was lining up. Did you guys see signs of that when you looked at the tape, and how do you guard against that?
Oh, I think anytime you go into a ball game, there are certain things based on the way an offense would line up or defense would line up or how you line up in special teams that are indicators of what a team might do. And we certainly have those. The Rams certainly have those. Every team you play has those. And, what you try to do is you try to, have complements to those things. And we work very hard at that, understanding our self-scout. And understanding what we're doing. Typically, teams have tendencies. Typically, the best teams have tendencies. And you play to those tendencies, and you also take advantage of those tendencies to do other things off of them. And that's in all phases of your team. So Rams did a very good job in the ball game. They deserve to win that game. That's really all I have on that.
You talked about inconsistency of your team early on. We talked about the youth of the team. Where did you see the young guys on this team grow throughout the process? And what do they have to do to carry that over?
Well, I think when you're talking about young guys, you just see them grow and develop their confidence over the course of the early part of the season when they start getting some playing experience. And really what that is I've been in this situation, had success, build on it. I've been in this situation, I had some adversity, it didn't work out. How do you learn from that? And if you have the right kind of guys on your team, you learn from those experiences and you get better and you play more confidently. And, anytime you're doing something for the first time, you're probably not going to do it with the same conviction, the same level of confidence, the same level of decisiveness that you need to, the more you do it. And that's really where experience and being a veteran player can help you in this league. And, so I just think guys were playing more, and they were learning from their experiences. And the next time it happened, they were more aggressive, they were more decisive. I think Blake Jarwin's a great example of that. Over the course of the season, he just played faster. He played more decisively. He was more convicted about the angle he needed to take, or I'm hot on this play, or whatever those things are that come up at your position. You just do them more aggressively and more decisively when you kind of know and know you know. That's a big expression for us, playing with that kind of conviction. And the more experience you have, hopefully the more conviction you get in your play.
When you evaluate yourself, where do you start with? Where you think what you did well, and where do you think you need to do better?
Oh, there's a million things about that. Maybe we'll have some lemonades and discuss all those things at some point. Obviously we didn't get off to a good start in the season, and that's my responsibility. And so we had to do some things to hopefully put our team moving in a better direction than that. And I thought our coaches responded well to that. I thought our players responded well to that, and we learned from the experiences that we had. So, we try to take a critical look at ourselves. I try to take a critical look at myself and do everything I can to do my job better. And I'll continue to do that. So.
The question of continuity, how much of a factor will it be that you all made significant changes last year in the coaching staff as you evaluate that going forward?
Yeah, again, we'll just pull back and evaluate our whole team and what we need to do to get better. And that's any change we might make on our coaching staff, any change we might make in our personnel with our players. You just pull back and you just try to have an honest evaluation about where our team is right now and where we need to go and what we need to do to get there.
The decision, can you just talk about coaching in the Pro Bowl and those coaching decisions impact going down there and what you do? Do you have to make a quicker decision on your staff because you're coaching in the Pro Bowl? Any of those things like that? Yeah,
again, we haven't really had a staff meeting yet since the game. So we're going to have that today, and we'll start talking about some of these things. I can't imagine the Pro Bowl would impact any decision we make about any coaching staff we have or any player personnel decisions that we would make.
You talk about then coaching the Pro Bowl again.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity for us. It's one of those things that you have to kind of pull back because you really don't want you don't want to be coaching in this game. You want to be coaching the game that's being played this Sunday. And for us, it didn't work out that way this year. And so, one of the rewards to losing the game we had the other day is to go down to Orlando and coach in this game. And every time we've been involved in this game, it's been a great experience for our staff and for our guys connected with our team. You get a chance to be around the best players in the NFL. We'll have some of our players down there, but so many others who you compete against. And it's always a great learning experience. The NFL does a great job with this game, and we're appreciative of the opportunity.
What were your thoughts on David Irving and his kind of enigmatic season that he had?
Yeah, obviously David wasn't a big part of our team this year. He had some issues off the field that he had to contend with, and then he had an injury that kept him out of the lineup for most of the year. So, didn't play that much football for us.
Did you meet with him, like the other players?
I've not met with David yet.
One thing you haven't been able to do is string back-to-back playoff seasons together. What did you see with this team that gives you pause to believe that you can do that you can start stringing these together?
Yeah, as much as anything else is the kind of team that we're building. I believe we have a good young nucleus of players. And, even though we have a young team, I think we have good, strong, young leadership on our team. Really good players who go about it the right way. And that's really important. Some cornerstone-type players who are going to be here for a long time. And just continue to build around them, continue to learn from our experiences, and just continue to grow in every way. As a coaching staff, as players on offense, defense, and the kicking game. That's really what we're going to try to do. And hopefully make some good decisions for our football team over the course of the offseason, and then get back to work.
How do you marry, you tell us every year, starting over. How do you marry building and then starting over at the same time?
I just think you do. You have to benefit from the experience you've had up to this point. You have to learn and grow from them. But you also have to recognize that we do have to start over. Every team starts at 0-0 next year, and when we start the off-season program, we haven't done anything. So you just get back to work, and you start from ground zero, from peg one, and you go to work each and every day. But I do think when you reflect back on how you've gotten to that point, you can learn in your life, if I do things a certain way, maybe I get this positive result. And if I don't do those same things, maybe I don't get the same result. So that's part of maturing. That's part of growing. And I think we'll understand that when we get back to work for that first day of the off-season program with the goals and aspirations that we'll have for the 2019 season.
You mentioned earlier about knowing that you paid a high price for Amari Cooper as far as the draft. Does that impact how the organization looks at the draft from the standpoint that normally you spend so much time on the top, 25, 35 players? Will you not spend as much time on that, or do you still spend as much time going, well, we need to make an actual determination and see whether we move back up if we're happy where we are for a true evaluation?
Yeah, I just think it's really important to know the draft in its entirety. And, we have a lot of people in our personnel department who are working hard on that. and we as coaches in the next couple of weeks will start diving into that as well. So I just think you have to be careful saying, oh, we don't pick until this number in the second round, and we don't have to worry about the top guys. You know, you never know how these things come up. And, you know, Amari Cooper is a great example of that. You know, 4th player taken in the draft. We did a thorough evaluation on him. We knew Amari Cooper inside and out when he come out of school. And obviously he was taken off the board very high. But sometimes these evaluations come back around to you, and I think they're important to you. So you go through the process. You go through it very thoroughly. You know the draft from top to bottom. You select the guys that hopefully fit your team. You're disciplined to what you believe in, the kind of vision you want to create for your team. That's a big part of the whole draft process. But knowing it from top to bottom is critical.
In your mind, there's a much difference between the teams that are playing this weekend and what you guys have?
Well, we got to the point to be one of the final 8, and we didn't take that next step to be one of the final 4. And you know, give the teams who are credit. Give them credit for getting themselves into this position. You know, one of the best things they did is they won enough games to have home field advantage in the divisional round, and you know, so they were among the better teams throughout the whole year, and that's the next step that we have to take. You want to be one of those kinds of teams, but you know, give them credit. They deserve to be in that situation. We came up short this year, but hopefully that'll fuel us, our drive and determination for what's going to happen in 2019.
So much goes into the season as a head coach. When you get your team close, especially after a season like this where you see so much adversity, how do you personally get over the hangover and get motivated for another year?
Well, I'm excited about our team. I'm excited what we have. Again, we have a lot of young players who got valuable playing experience this year. I think we grew over the course of the season, and there's so much to build on. You know, one of the points of emphasis that we made to our team was we believe this young team can do it now. And I think our team believed that. And unfortunately, we came up short. But that doesn't change our beliefs about that and the kind of guys we have. I believe we built the team the right way with the right kind of guys. Damn good football players who go about it the right way. Great examples to each other. They care about each other. They love each other. Those are things that we can build on as we go forward.
As you enter year 9, is it tough to keep that message fresh to these guys, where they're still buying and believing what the coaches, everybody's saying?
Yeah, I think our team believes in what we believe in. I think they have strong convictions about what our team is all about. I think that's reflected in how they play on Sundays.
Assuming you have an opinion on a new contract for Dak that you would probably share with the front office, would you be willing to share that with us?
I don't want to get into any conversations about that with any player, but trust me, I have a tremendous amount of faith, and Dak Prescott has done fantastic stuff for our organization over the course of the first 3 years he's been with us, and has been an excellent football player, and he's only going to get better and better.
This third loss in the divisional playoffs in the last 5 years, is it different, tougher, more resolved? What's your mindset after this thing ending?
Again, I think there are a lot of positive things we can build on from this year, but there's no question the feeling that you have walking off the field on Saturday night at the LA Coliseum sticks with you, and it fuels you going forward. And you want to build on the positives, but you want to remember some of the negative experiences as well. I think that's how you grow as individual coaches, individual players, and ultimately as a football team.
As Zeke talks about wanting his contract, I'll follow up with Sky on the Dak question. What sort of input would you have in wanting to not only get him locked in this summer, but retain him for the long haul? How important is Elliott to you in this team?
Yeah, again, I don't want to talk about any specific contracts, but suffice it to say, I love Ezekiel Elliott. You know, and I think everybody's connected with the Cowboys knows the impact that he's made on our team. And he's just a hell of a football player, and he represents everything that we want in our guys. He loves the game. He plays the game at a very high level. He plays the game the right way. His competitive spirit, his will, his desire to be great, those are all things we want in our players. So he's had a huge impact on our team over the course of his first 3 years here.
Thank you.
Okay, guys.
Thanks.